And welcome to this another video on authentic English. So as all of you guys know that English Honours is a hyped course in the University of Delhi. About 2,000 people each year, get into the course where many others register. So everybody has this question who wants to pursue English Honours, whether he or she should pursue English Honours or not. So you need to get an idea of what they teach in the university so that you can decide if the course is fit for you or not. First things first, I would advise you to go for English Honours only if you're really interested in English language and literature. You need to have that interest in yourself that, I want to do English Honours because I like English. If you think that you want to improve your English or something like that, then the course is not meant for you because they do not teach you English language. What they teach you is pure literature, literary theories and stuff like that. So you cannot expect that if you want to improve your English, then you can go to pursue English Honours because they're not going to teach you English language. English language is something that improves itself, in the side, that happens on the sidewalk. While on the main road, what you're studying is English literature. Now, how it happens on the sidewalk? It happens in the way that when you read a lot of literature, you get to know new sentence patterns, new words, your vocabulary improves and stuff like that. So the thing is that if you think that just improving English is your goal, then do not go for English Honours. You'll not find it interesting. For those of you who find that literature is something that they like to read and you would like to know like ideas from people around the world, the main focus is British literature. They're going to teach you British literature right from the beginning till the very end. So definitely you should go for it because you're going to get to know a lot of writers, their thought processes. So you're going to become very intellectual, very wise and stuff like that. So definitely go for it. Now let me talk to you about the syllabus. So in the first semester, what they're going to teach you are two main subjects: Indian classical literature and European classical literature. So now it's important to know what they teach you in Indian classical literature and European classical literature. So Indian classical literature has to do with Indian authors. Now, since the word classical is there, so they're gonna teach you things like that are the precursors of all writings in India. So what are the classical writings in India? They are Mahabharata, Ramayana, those old plays that we've all heard of, Abhigyan, Shakuntalam, and other such things. So let me tell you clearly what they're going to teach you in the first semester. So first of all, there is this Mahabharata in the Indian classical literature. We all know what Mahabharata is, the greatest epic ever. So there are very little portions of Mahabharata, just from Sabha Parv and Udyog Parv. So very little portions, but they're also going to require extensive studies. You have to read, critical essays on them, stuff like that. So there is this Mahabharata in which you have to read selections from Sabha Parv and Udyog Parv. And let me tell you, they are the Parvas in which the disrobing of Draupadi took place. So a rather interesting one. I like the Mahabharata very much. Now, let me tell you about the other things that were there. So besides this Mahabharata, there was this book known as the epic from the south. Now, we all know about Mahabharata, but none of us have heard about this epic known as Shilapatikaram. It's the epic from the south. Okay, so South Indian stuff is generally ignored. Means people do not really know about this South Indian epic. So Shilapatikaram was taught to us. It's a tale of a woman, how she destroyed a king with her anger and stuff like that. So you have to study the Shilapatikaram. It's an epic from the south. Okay, it's a Tamil epic. Now let me tell you about the other things. The other things include the other two books in the Indian classical subject include Mrichkatika. Now, Mrichkatika is a Sanskrit play. I wonder how many of you have heard of it. So, it's a nice play. You'll enjoy reading it. Mrichkatika is the name. So, Mrichkatika is a Sanskrit play. It's by Shudrak. And then the fourth thing is this book known as Abhigyan Shakuntalam. So, I think that everybody of you might have heard about Abhigyan Shakuntalam. We read about it in history books and stuff like that and things like that. So Abhigyan Shakuntalam is a play by Kalidas. It's written very beautifully. It was a Sanskrit play. So Abhigyan Shakuntalam, Mrichkatika, Mahabharata, all are Sanskrit, and they've translated that into English, and is what they're going to teach you in the first semester under the subject known as Indian classical literature. So you'll enjoy reading this Abhigyan Shakuntalam too, because Abhigyan Shakuntalam is actually nice. So these are the 4 books that you have to study under Indian classical literature. Now comes European classical literature. So European is something that has to do with the West. So in European classical literature, they're going to teach you those parts of literature from Europe which are considered to be, the pioneers of all literature. So the first book that comes under European classical literature is the Iliad by Homer. The Iliad is considered as the first work of the Western literature. So that is a book that you'll have to read on own. It's actually about the Battle of Troy that was fought between the Greeks and the Trojans. So that's about the Battle of Troy, the Iliad by Homer. So it's a long epic, and you'll have to put in, efforts in order to know everything that's there in the epic. Now, the second thing is you have to read are 2 plays. One is a comedy and one is a tragedy. So the tragedy is known as Oedipus Rex or Oedipus the King. So you have to study Oedipus Rex. I'm talking about the first semester. You have to study Oedipus Rex, which is a Greek tragedy by Sophocles. So it's a nice play. I really liked reading it. You like it too. Then talking about the comedy. The comedy is by Plautus. Okay, Titus Marcus Plautus wrote a comedy named Pot of Gold. So the comedy is known as Pot of Gold, and it's also a nice, interesting play. You'll be able to finish it in 2 hours. It's very small, written in modern English, but the themes of the play are, pointing to the Roman times of those days. So it can be a little extensive in that sense. So besides this Iliad, the 2 plays, we have some other writings as well from Ovid. Everybody has heard about Pyramus and Thisbe. So you're going to read that story and other stories which are old and, form an important part of, classical European literature. So these are the books that you have to read in the first semester in Delhi University under the course English Honours. So my advice would be that if you think that you are really interested in literature, you should go for it. And also talking about the marks that they give are not, great compared to other courses. The science courses always get higher marks than the art subjects. So English Honours is not very scoring as well. So the thing is, if you have this interest, it has great scopes ahead in life. So if you have the interest, you should definitely go for it. And I'll be uploading more videos in which I talk in detail about these books. So till then, you should focus and decide if you really want to do it or not. Like, you have the time. The new admissions begin in July. So you can read some of these books. I told you the names. You can find them on the internet, do a little research, find and try to read them. And, you can have an idea if you're going to like the course or not. So if you have any other questions, you can leave them down in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. And if you like the video, you can subscribe to the channel and hit the like button below. Thank you so much and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.